प्रविश्यामवाचं मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चाभिव्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Which verse we begin? 70. Yes. Arahasi rahasi swatantrabuddhya varivasitum sulabhah prasannamurtihi aganita paladayakah prabhurme जगदधिको हृदिराजशेखरोऽस्ति आरूढभक्तिगुणकुञ्चितभावचापयुक्तैः शिवस्मरणबाणगणैरमोघैः निर्जित्य किल्बिषरिपून् विजयीसुधीन्द्रः सानन्दमावहति सुस्थिरराजलक्ष्मीम् ध्यानाञ्जनेन समवेक्ष्य तमः प्रदेशम् भित्वा महाबलिभिरीश्वरनाममन्त्रैः दिव्याश्रितं भुजगभूषणमुद्वहन्ति ये पादपद्ममिहते शिवते कृतार्थाः भूदारतामुदवहद्यदवेक्षया श्रीभूदारयेव किमतः सुमते लभस्व केदारमाकलितमुक्तिमहमौषधीनां पादारविन्दभजनं परमेश्वरस्य आशापाशक्लेशदुर्वासनादिभेदोद्युक्तैः दिव्यगन्धैरवन्दैः आशाशाटीकस्य पादारविन्दं चेतः प्रेटीं वासितां मे तनोतु. We completed up to this 74. The previous verse, 74, Ashapashaklesha Durvasanadi Bhedodyuktaihi Divyagandhai Ramandaihi. Saw the meaning in great detail in the previous class. I mentioned to you that the word Asha used in the first and the second half of the verses mean completely different things. In the first half, Asha means hope, desire, greed, etc. In the second half, it means dik. Asha shati means Asha shati yasya, the one who has the directions themselves as the covering. Okay, so Asha shati yasya, Asha shati kaha. Okay, so this is a bahuvrihi kapratyaya. Asha shati kasya padaravindam chetaf petim vasitam me tanotu. It's a beautiful description wherein he compares his mind with the peti, okay, a box which is filled with durgandha. Okay. So now he says, may your padaravinda come into my peti and thereby make it fragrant. So this is the overall substance that was conveyed. In the previous class, I failed to mention the meter in which this verse is composed. So this is a 11-syllabled meter, as you can see. Asha shati kasya padaravindam. So this is 11-syllabled meter. There are several 11-syllabled meters, and the most commonly employed one are Indravajra and Upendravajra. sometimes Upajati. It is a combination of Indra Vajra and Upendra. These are the 11 syllabled meters which you commonly find. So in Ramayana as well as in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is primarily Anushtu, but sometimes you find longish meters. There what you will find is Indra Vajra or Upendra Vajra generally, and that is the meter that has been employed even by Kalidasa in several places. Okay? But this 11 syllabled meter is somewhat uncommon. It is called Shalini. Okay? I will give you the definition. Just note it down. Matau Gauchet.
Matau Gauchet. Matau Gauchet.
Shalini Vedalokaihi. Shalini Vedalokaihi. Shalini Vedalokaihi. Matau Gauchet Shalini Vedalokaihi. Shalini is the name of the meter. And Vedalokaihi, the word Veda refers to 4 and Loka refers to 7. Saptaloka. Now the Saptalokaha here is used to convey to you that these 11 syllables are generally broken, okay, as 4 and 7. That is why I said Matau Gauchet, 4 syllables. Matau Gauchet Shalini Vedalokaihi. So Matau Gau, how do we understand this? Ma here refers to Magana, all are Guru. And then Tau, Mat means Maganat Anantaram. Tau, Tau refers to 2 Taganas. So how much do we get now? Mat, Tau, Gau, Chet. Okay. So then you have Gau. Understand? So 3 into 3 you have 9 plus 2 totally 11. Last 2 are Gurus. Mat, Tau, Gau, Chet. So if you find this, then it is called Shalini. Okay, Magana, Tagana, Tagana, Guru, Guru. So that is how this meter Shalini is described. Matau Gauchet Shalini, and then he says Veda Lokaihi. The Yati Bhanga happens at Veda, and then the rest is Loka. 4 plus 7. Matau Gauchet Shalini Veda Lokaihi. Here if you see Asha Pashak Klesha Durvasanadi Bhedodyuktaihi Divyagandhai Ramandaihi Asha Shati Kasyapadararindam Chetaf Petim Vasitam Me Tanotu. So this is how this verse is to be understood, composed in Shalini meter. Now there is one more thing which I wanted to tell you. This Asha is a word that can be derived so that it conveys both dik as well as the desire. So how do we understand? This can be understood to be formed with the verb ashnute, ashluvyaptau. Now, a samantatu ashnute, suppose you say, a means usually samantat. Ashnute vyapnoti. So now it is very easy for us to understand that dik, once you conceive of, as you keep going towards the east, it will be east, 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 right? So if you keep traveling towards Singapore, then you keep moving towards New Zealand, it is east. Then you keep traveling, so you will always be moving towards east only, okay, wherever you go. So this is Ashnute Vyapnoti. So this is a certain conception that we have created for certain purposes. So if you want to orient your house, you should know at that location what is dik. Understand? So this dik is a certain concept. So it is something which is sarvavya. In Tarka Sangraha, what do they say? Prachyadi vyavahara. Is it vibhvi or not? Vibhvi ityacha. Understand? So vibhvi means it is all pervasive. Asamantat vyaptam. Understand? So that is something which we can understand with reference to dik, direction. Asha, shati. If you take asha, pasha also, so there asha refers to desire or greed. Okay? So that also is sarvavyapta. So we desire for, it is endless. Where is it ending? It is unending. And therefore, this unending nature is common to both the meanings of asha. Asamantat ashnute vyapnoti. So the desire keeps on moving from one padartha to other padartha at various points in life. Okay, and therefore I told you that this is like a pasha. So we also saw that this asha is tagged with another word called pasha. It is a compound word. See, asha, pasha. So this can be understood as upamana uttarapada karmadharaya. See, asha, pasha eva. Understand? So it is like a rope which binds you. So asha, pasha, klesha. So klesha we saw. So klishyante janaha yebhi. Iti klesha. That is how we can understand. Klishyante janaha yebhi. So by those things people are afflicted. By things, certain things are listed in Yoga Sutra. So we saw that in great detail. So they have been classified into 5 groups. What are they?
Ragadvesha abhinivesha. Avidyasmita ragadvesha abhiniveshaha kleshaha.
Avidyasmita ragadvesha abhiniveshaha kleshaha. So we saw in brief what they mean in the previous class. Okay. So these are certain things that I thought I would just mention, which were left out as we did not have much time in the previous class to discuss. Asha, pasha, klesha, durvasa. In fact, I am just reminded of another interesting verse. See, there is a nice Subhashita which I long back my father said, and I memorized that. This Asha Pasha, in fact, it is a beautiful verse. Write down. Ashaya ye dasaha. Ashaya ye dasaha. Ashaya ye dasaha. Te dasa sarvalokasya. Te dasa sarvalokasya. Te dasa sarvalokasya. Asha dasi yesham. Asha dasi yesham. Asha dasi yesham. Tesham dasayate lokaha. Tesham dasayate lokaha. Tesham dasayate lokaha. Simple verse in Arya meter. So what it says is, but the meaning is very profound. Ashayaha ye dasaha. The word dasa means a servant. The servant is used to refer to convey the meaning that he is under the control of someone. Right? Servant does not have an independent. He has to listen to the Yajamana. Okay, the boss. So now he says, Ashayaha ye dasaha, means those who have made Asha as their Yajamanas. Means Asha directs him and he has become a servant. You understand? Ashayaha ye dasaha te dasaha sarvalokasya. They are servants to the entire world. Understand? In order to fulfill, you have to keep on doing certain things where you don't really have that kind of a freedom which you can otherwise enjoy. Ashayaha ye dasaha te dasaha sarvalokasya. Then it says, on the other hand, Asha dasi yesham. Yesham asha dasi means those who have made Asha as their servants. What does it mean? Whenever you want, you can invoke. Clear? Suppose I want to read Bhagavad Gita. Suppose I want to read Sivanandalahari. Suppose I want to work on this problem. Sangeeta Ratnakara I want to read. Then your desire is something which is invoked by you. Understand? So when it comes, you need not necessarily be driven by that. Whenever you want to do something, you will be able to do. And that has to be in the right direction. That is why even Bhagavad Gita he says, no, Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharata vishabha. Understand? So kama as such is not an entity which has to be hated, but dharma viruddha kama. And that has to be invoked whenever you want. So whenever whatever desire that crops up, I need not be driven away by that. That is the idea. Asha dasi yesham. See, those who have made Asha as their dasis. Okay? So if you want, you can keep. If you want to throw away, you can throw. See, when it comes, you need not be impelled by that. That is the idea. Asha dasi yesham. Then he says, Tesham dasayate lokaha. So the entire world becomes servant for him. It's a beautiful way of expressing the importance of conquering the desires, keeping that under our spell. Beautiful sloka. That is why this word pasha here refers to, it binds you. You become servant of Asha. Asha pasha klesha durvasana. So the other way of even interpreting this verse is klesha. I was trying to tell you, Asha pashascha kleshascha, athava Asha pashascha kleshascha. This is one way of seeing. Asha pasha eva klesha is another way of seeing. Understand? Asha pasha eva klesha is another way of understanding this verse. There are different ways in which you can look at it. This is a very beautiful verse. Asha pasha klesha durvasana. In fact, how does this durvasana get generated? After all, every act that we perform leaves a certain impression, and that is what we call as vasana. See, if you are under the spell of Asha, then what you generate is durvasana. That is what is indicated. If Asha is under your spell, then it is going to be sadvasana. So that is why he is saying this Asha pasha klesha durvasanadi bhedodyuktai. Okay, now we move on to verse 75. Kalyaninam sarasachitra gatim savegam.
Kalyaninam sarasachitra gatim savegam. Kalyaninam sarasachitra gatim savegam.
Sarvengitajnyamanagam dhruvalakshanadhyam.
सर्वेङ्गितज्ञमनघं ध्रुवलक्षणाढ्यम् सर्वेङ्गितज्ञमनघं ध्रुवलक्षणाढ्यम्
चेतस्तुरङ्गमधिरुह्य चरस्मरारे
चेतस्तुरङ्गमधिरुह्य चरस्मरारे चेतस्तुरङ्गमधिरुह्य चरस्मरारे
नेतः समस्तजगतां वृषभाधिरूढा
नेतः समस्तजगतां वृषभाधिरूढा नेतः समस्तजगतां वृषभाधिरूढा
कल्याणिनं सरसचित्रगतिं सवेगं. This verse is composed in Vasanta Talaka, which is what he was using even for the earlier verses. Budharatam udavahatu. So there has been a sequence of Vasanta Talaka meters, so which is a 14 syllable bit, which I had explained in the earlier lectures. Kalyaninam Sarasachitragatim Savegam Sarvengitajnyamanagam Dhruvalakshanadhyam. There are 6 adjectives that form the first half of the verse. Kalyaninam Sarasachitragatim Savegam Sarvengitajnyam Anagam Dhruvalakshanadhyam. So all these words are qualifiers to what appears in the beginning of the third quarter. Chetasturangam. So that is the word that has been qualified by 6 adjectives. Chetasturangam, the word turanga means horse. Okay. Why? So turaga, turanga, turangama. Okay. These 3 words refer to horse. All of them essentially mean the one which moves swiftly. Turam gacchati iti turaga. Turam means shighram vegena. So that is how the word is to be understood. Now he says, my mind is turaga. Turanga. Chetas turangam. Chetas turangam. Adhiruhya charaha. Okay. There are 2 more words. Adhiruhya means so climbing upon that, sitting on that. Chara. Chara means may you keep moving away. May you keep moving around. Chara. So this is a prarthana that is being made to Parameshwara. What is the prarthana? Chetas turangam adhiruhya chara. Right? May you sit upon the horse in the form of a mind and keep driving it and keep moving around. Okay. Chetas turangam adhiruhya chara. Then the rest of the verse is 3 more words, addressing words to Parameshwara. Smarare Vrishabhadhirudha Samasta Jagatam Netaha. All the 3 are adjectives. He Smarare, He Vrishabhadhirudha, He Samasta Jagatam Netaha. If you want to just put it shortly, Smarare Mama Chetasturangam Adhiruhya Chara. Right? This is all the verse tries to convey. So may you take control over my mind. So this is the prarthana of a devotee, wherein he tries to willfully surrender him to Ishvara. surrendering willfully to Ishvara. So recognizing the helplessness in controlling one's own mind. See, this very attitude enables you to exercise control. So that is what we need to understand. Okay. So this is a very interesting cycle. So where one feeds the other, and thereby you are able to exercise a certain control over your mind. Now there is a lot of strength that is gained in the process. So that is something which is to be experienced by people. So now let us see what are the other things that are special about this verse. Vrishabhadhirudha is a description of Parameshwara. Why? Vrishabha means ox. So Adhirudha, in fact, in Mylapore, Chennai, where I hail from, is one of the most majestic Alankaras that is done. Okay? Vrishabha Vahanam, they say. So they have a few Vahanas. One of them is Vrishabha. It will be amazing. So huge, so majestic will be the bullock, and on that Vrishabha, so Parameshwara will be seated, and we will have, okay, so all around the four big streets. So the Avahana will come in night. Okay. Now this Vrishabhadhirudha is a generic description that we find in the literature. So various Ishvaras have various Vahanas. So our Vinayaka is called Akhu Vahana. Okay, Gajanana. He is such a bulky body, but his Vahana is mouse. Okay. So Vinayaka's body is like a sumo wrestler. Okay. So Akhu Vahana. So we have Parameshwara as Vrishabha Vahana. Now Vrishabhadhirudha is one of the addressing words. The other addressing word is Smarare. The third addressing word is Samasta Jagatam Netaha. So all of them need not necessarily be used. Right? One word is sufficient. Why is Shankara Bhagavat Pada employing 3 words to address? So these are all very meaningfully done. So that is what we need to understand, the beauty of composition. Otherwise one is enough. Smarare, Amachetaha, okay, Surangam, Aruhya, Tumsara, over. And there are a few other adjectives which have been added to qualify this Chetasturangam also. Now let us see the significance of Vrishabhadhirudha and the request that is being made for the moment. Chetasturangamadhiruhya chara. It means instead of moving upon the bullock, okay, you can ride on the horse. Why do you want to ride on bullock? Okay, it is a very sluggish. Okay. So on the other hand, Turaga, so it will move very swiftly. And why do you need a swiftly moving vehicle? Why do you need? That's why he says, Netas samasta jagatam. Samasta jagatam netaha means, so you are the Lord of all the worlds. So suppose somebody is the executive director of many companies. Then he has to move from one place to another place. He has to visit various companies. Now you are Samasta Jagatam Neta. You have to go and visit various worlds. And therefore you need a Vahana which is far more efficient and far more swiftly moving than this ox. So therefore he is saying, Suchetasturangamadhiruhya chara. Understand? So Vrishabhadhirudha, so it means You drop that Vrishabha, come and sit on this horse and then keep moving. So this is the Prarthana, right? So here there is a beautiful Alankara. This Alankara is called Pratishedha Alankara. So Pratishedha Alankara. This adjective, Vrishabhadhirudha and Chetasturanga Madhiruhya Chara, the purpose why he wants is conveyed through the other adjective, Samasta Jagatam Netaha. Okay? So he is trying to plead, why don't you use this? And you will be benefited, I will also be benefited. This is a win-win situation. So that is the idea. Now what is the Alankara here? The Alankara is Pratishedha Alankara. So how does it go? Repeat. Akshepastu prayuktasya
आक्षेपस्तु प्रयुक्तस्य आक्षेपस्तु प्रयुक्तस्य
प्रतिषेधो विचारणात्
प्रतिषेधो विचारणात् प्रतिषेधो विचारणात्
चन्द्रसन्दर्शयात्मानम्
चन्द्रसन्दर्शयात्मानम् चन्द्रसन्दर्शयात्मानम्
अथवास्ति प्रियामुखम्
अथवास्ति प्रियामुखम् अथवास्ति प्रियामुखम्.
So the second half of the verse is Drishtanta. What does the first half say? Akshepastu prayuktasya pratishedhaha. Okay. Pratishedhaha. Kada pratishedhaha vicharanat. So wherever you find a certain usage wherein initially a certain thought was expressed and then so that thought is a little thought over and then said, no, this thought is not right, it has to be superseded by some other thought. Whenever there is a dismissal of the earlier thought, okay, pratishedhaha means something which obstructs. Okay. So pratishedhaha, nishedhaha, they essentially mean one and the same. So akshepa alankara is also employed by people. Pratishedha alankara is also used to refer to this. Akshepastu prayuktasya. Prayuktasya means already used. Pratishedhaha vicharanat. So what is the example? Chandra sandarishaya atmanam. So this fellow says, he is just curious to enjoy the beauty of the moonlight. Okay? So we enjoy the beauty of moonlight. Assume that he has gone with the beloved. So in those days, night, there is no other light. Or you go to a certain place where there is no light. So then he says, Chandra Sandarishaya Atmanam. This is the first prarthana that he makes. Okay? Chandra Sandarishayatmanam. Then he thought, no, Athava Asti Priya Mukham. Hey, why? Your beauty compared to the beauty of my beloved is much inferior. So this is there for me to see why I am asking for you. You understand? Chandra Sandarishayatmanam. Athavaasti priyamukham. Priyamukham asti ahladanaya. No need for you. So this is what I have some light. Let us say some ring light is there. So Chandra Sandarishayatmanam athavaasti priyamukham. So now come back to this verse. So he is saying Vrishabhadhirudha initially. Then he says this Vrishabhadhirohaha mastu hayadhirohaha. Understand? So Vrishabhadhirohaha hayadhirohena pratishidhyate. That is how we have. So this Pratishedha alankara. So now you can see that in the second half of the verse, so Chetasturanga chara vrishabhadhirudha netas samasta jagatam. So these three have become very meaningful from an Alankara viewpoint, poetic viewpoint. Why is this word smarare then used? So smarare is not required now. So you can get away with that. You can use something else. No. This is because this chetaha is the most difficult thing to control. Understand? So all other things can be controlled. This chetaha is very difficult to control. Why is it difficult to control? Because the chetaha is controlled by kama. Understand? This chetaha is controlled by kama. Okay, that's what we saw, asha, pasha. And this fellow has become a slave for kama. Now he says, you are a kamari. Okay? Understand? So you are smarari. Smarari is essentially, smara means kama. Okay? So you are so well known as a smarari, and therefore for you to control this haya is nothing. Understand? This haya in the form of buddhi is absolutely nothing. So, and therefore this can be conceived as another alankara which I have already discussed in some other context. It is called Parikarankura Alankara. Remember? Sabhipraye visheshye tu bhavet parikarankuraha. Chaturnam purusharthanam data devaschaturbujaha. Okay, I have already explained this too. So that is the alankara which one can think of in adding one more addressing word here. Chetasturangamahiruhya charasmarare netas samasta jagatam vrishabhadhirudha. Now come to the first half of the verse. The first half of the verse I told you there are 6 adjectives that have been employed by him which qualify Chetasturangam. So there is also Rupaka which is insignificant here. Chetaha eva turangam Chetasturangam. Now Kalyaninam Chetasturangam Sarasachitragatim Chetasturangam Savegam Chetasturangam. This is how you have to understand each one of them qualify. Now Kalyaninam means, what does Kalyaninam mean? Kalyana. Kalyana means Mangalam essentially. Kalyanam Mangalam. So anything, there are so many connotations to the word Kalyana. Kalyana, Kalyani, Kalyaninam. This is how the word comes. Okay. From Kalyana becomes Kalyani and then Kalyaninam. So this can be understood in 2 ways. One is something which is auspicious. The other way is the one which is auspicious. Okay. Matu pratyaya. Okay. Ini. So from ini you get the Matu Bartha. Okay. Kalyaninam. Now he wants to tell Parameshwara that this horse is a special horse. It is a very auspicious one. Okay. So he wants to qualify his chitta, which is personified as a Turanga here, with certain adjectives. Kalyaninam. Suppose you go to some sales representative, you look at some car, he will be highlighting you some 20 features. So this is so special, this is so special in this is so special in this. Suppose you go to Tesla, so there are various things. So that you can say you don't see any other meter, so you see this so beautiful, so elegant and so on. So the various things will be said. Similarly, so you are inviting Parameshwara. So like a sales representative. So he is just saying, see, this Chitta, okay, is Kalyana, Kalyaninam. So it is very auspicious if you come and sit here. So this Chitta is something which is always thinking of Kalyana for others, and therefore this is a good place to reside. Understand? You don't want to reside in a place where it is Akalyana. Okay? So therefore, Kalyaninam, this will bring you auspiciousness. Then, Sarasachitra Gatim. That is the second adjective. Sarasachitra Gatim means Sarasagatihi Chitragati. So the Sarasagatihi Chitragati. Sarasagatihi means the move of the horse is so majestic. If you see, generally some high quality horses, okay, so good variety horses, you will see the majesty as they move. And if you train them to do certain things, it will be all the more beautiful. Okay, so that is what is called Chitragati. In fact, there are 5 different kind of things which are 5 different kinds of motions for a horse, which are described in our scriptures. I will not get into that. There are 5 things which are generally listed. Okay, Valgitam. There are various things. Now, this horse, he says, Sarasagatihi, Chitragatischa. Okay. That's an adjective to horse. Kalyaninam, Sarasachitragatim, and Samastajagatam Netaha. So you have to move to various places to see how things are functioning. Therefore, this horse has to be moving with high speed. Savegam. This is how people advertise. Within 5 seconds, you will reach 80 km speed also. Understand? So in vehicles, that is how they say. Sarasachitra Gatim Savegam. Okay? It can tremendously accelerate. And the motion will be unjerky also. You can even say Chitragati means. So it has some special motion where you will not see the vibration. Sarasachitragatim Savegam. Then Sarvengitajñam. Sarvengitajñam means the one which understands all Ingita. Suppose you are given some vehicle to ride. So it should understand, right? So how to control you should know. No? So nowadays, people have come up with various gadgets where you don't need to do much. So no hand operation, no leg operation, you just touch something. Okay? The touch is like Ingita. So Ingita is a nice phrase. Ingitajñastu kosalaha is what they say. So Ingita essentially means, so in order to convey what is there in your mind, you create a certain kind of action. Understand? It is artificially created. There is nothing like which is universal about it. So you can create certain action. It is like this. So you say, nowadays I find in many places. So Adipur Bomma Mari, so they will just say like this. You understand? This means successful. This is Ingita only. In the airport, when the flight lands, they will lift it. Okay, turn their thumb. So this is just Ingita to convey something. Something is there in your mind. So you want to convey that. Okay. And even sometimes, see, this is to be understood by people when we serve and eat. So if they come and swiftly go, okay, Karivanma, suppose they so which means, so if they don't stop and then serve you, it means there is some deficit okay, in the quantity And then that ingita should be understood by you. Otherwise, you can't be asking, get me 3 more vadas. So this is what is called ingita. Okay, the cheshta itself, you understand, that swift motion itself means, or serving only one means, there is insufficient and the population has come for eating much more than expected. These are all ingitas. Okay. So sarasa chitra gatim savegam sarvengitajñam. So he says this horse is something which understands all ingitas. Okay, you don't need to do much with the horse. So this will just move. Okay, so it is a qualifier. Sarvengitajñam. Then he says anagham. Anagham means nirdushta. So agha generally means papa, dosha. So anagham. So the features of the horse are so beautiful and you can't find any spot anywhere. It is a spotless horse. Sarvengitajñam anagham. Then he says dhruva lakshanadhyam. Dhruva lakshanadhyam means dhruva lakshanena adhyam. Adhyam associated, chinhitam, different meanings for adhyam. So dhruva lakshanam means something which is normally the tendency of horses. The tendency of horses is to get distracted easily. That is why if you see the horses, they would have put something. Okay? Not to get distracted. In fact, there is an interesting phrase which people use to refer to. Okay? So this, I heard it from a senior Pandit some time back. They say, Turaga Brahmacharya. So it is a negative phrase. Anyway, so I don't want to elaborate. I am just saying. So this Dhruva Lakshanadhyam. See, Dhruva Lakshanadhyam means, so this particular horse, okay, so which I am trying to present to you, okay, as your vehicle. So he is Dhruva Lakshana. So it is not something which is going to be easily distracted. Once you do some ingita, it will just move. So that is the idea that is being conveyed. So all the 6 phrases that has been employed in the first half of the verse are qualifiers of the horse, okay, upon which he wants Parameshwara to sit and have a safe ride, fast ride and so on. Okay, comfortable ride. Now these phrases should be applicable both to horse as well as mind, because chitta itself is Turaga here. Understand? So all these phrases that he is saying, so Kalyaninam, okay, essentially my mind is always thinking of good things and therefore only auspicious things will be thought of by my mind. Okay, if you sit here, you will also feel the auspiciousness. Kalyaninam, Sarasachitra Gatim. Okay, so these are all things which can be easily associated with mind. And there is nothing to be said about Savegam. Okay, Savegam, see, there is nothing which can move faster than our mind. Then Sarvengitajñam. Okay, this mind is a mature mind, so it will understand all the ingitas. Okay. Sarvengitajñam anagham. So it is a very refined mind. Okay. Anagha. So there is no thought of papa here. Okay. Anagham and Dhruva Lakshanadhyam. Bhagavad Gita, he says, no? What does he say? Durlabham, this mind control, Vayoriva Sudushkaram. So that is not the case with my mind. Understand? So my mind is something which is Dhruva. Okay. So once you set, it will go in that path. So that way, so the qualifiers that have been employed in the first half are applicable both to Chetaha as well as Turaga. Because identically, Chetaha is Turaga here.
Why does he praising the mana? He was not happy with the mana in the previous verses.
What?
He was telling that mana is not, it is with durvasanas and all.
No. See, the poets sometimes they will say it all depends on what you want to convey. You understand? So sometimes he will say Subramanya, you are the most superior deity. So when he comes to Durga, he will say the most superior deity. When he comes to Parameshwara, he will say most superior deity. Who is most superior? You understand? All the other devatas are under you. So this is how, if you want to say, in fact we had that verse, no? Jadata Pashuta Kalankita Kutila Charatvancha Nasti Mai Deva Asti Yadi Raja Mauli Bhavad Abharanasya Nasmi Kim Patram. So whatever he conveyed there, Jadata Pashuta Kalankita Kutila Charatvancha Nasti. Now if you want to invite, so please come in my car. So will you display that the car is so the problems in the car will be stated, or the good things of the car will be stated. So that is what he has to state. Okay? Understand? So these are all some poetic way of describing things. Okay. So Kalyan, so there, so he tried to portray in the previous verse. Okay. So there are certain things which you have to drive away. So now he wants to say in a different way. So please come and sit here. Essentially the point is, so he has to be here. Understand? So he has to be here, and here he is also trying to convey that, so this is something which does not seem to be impossible for you. Okay? After all, you are a Smarari. So you come and just occupy the seat here. Okay? So that is the idea. Read. Kalyaninam Sarasachitra Savegam Sarvengitagyamanagham Dhruvalakshanadyam Chetasturangam Charasmarare Netas Samasta Jagatam Rishabhadhiruda. Since we don't have much time, so I will just spend the next 1 or 2 minutes explaining some other verse, see, which has the word Kalyani. We'll take the verse, the next verse, next class. So Kalyaninam, see, this Kalyani, in fact, is nice usage in Ramayana. It's good to learn that verse. Kalyani Bata Gatheyam.
Kalyani Vata Gatheyam. Kalyani Vata Gatheyam.
Laukiki Pratibhati Me.
Laukiki Pratibhati Me. Laukiki Pratibhati Me.
Yeti Jivantamanandaha.
Jivantamanandaha. Yeti Jivantamanandaha.
Naram Varshashatadapi.
Naram Varshashatadapi. Naram Varshashatadapi.
It's a very beautiful message that we find in Sundarakanda. Kalyani Bata Gatheyam. Gatha means a certain episode story. So this is a good Gatha. What is the Gatha? That Gatha is conveyed in the second half. Kalyani Bata Gatheyam Laukiki Pratibhati. That's what that is. That is the phrase in it. Yeti Jivantam Anandaha Naram Varshashatagati. Many times what happens is, so the moment something happens which is not expected or not along the lines you think, then people just fall flat. They get so much disheartened. So there is nothing to really get disheartened. So So that is the message that is conveyed here. Even if there are series of failures, okay, so people should not just get disheartened and try to finish themselves. People, that is the extreme limit that happens. So what is being stated here is yeti jivantam anandaha yeti. Understand? So you cannot afford to lose living the life. One is living life. So if you become hopeless, then it is equivalent to dying day after day. Okay. Yeti jivantam anandaha means if you live the life, okay, then anandaha yeti, it will come. So jivantam anandaha yeti, and in order to convey powerfully, it says even if you have to struggle for 100 years, it is worth living, and the joy that you will experience at the end of it is something which is worth the struggling for 100 years. So it is a powerful way of putting it. So this is a Kalyani Gatha. That is how the word Kalyani is used. So there in the sense of true, okay, it is something which is exceedingly. So there are different connotations for the word Kalyani. It is an auspicious, it is very true. Kalyani Bada Gatheyam Laukiki Pratibhati Me. In some context, it is being said. Yeti Jivanta. So this is, I think, in the context of Sita, she has been suffering for a long time, right? For several months. And Hanuman comes and then he narrates this story. It is so pleasant. So many times you will find certain description. So Sita getting frustrated. What is the purpose in living? So that kind of a feeling. Dejection is also portrayed by the poet. So just because you get that, you should just immediately try to rebound. That is why we have this famous saying in Bhagavad Gita, Uddhared Atman Atmanam Natmanam Avasadayet. The same message is conveyed here. Kalyani Vata Gatheyam Viki Pratibhatimi Yeti Jivantam Anandaha Naram Varisha Shatada. It is a beautiful message. That is why he is saying Kalyaninam. My mind is like that. Okay. So it is not something which is going to be so disheartened so easily. They always think of auspicious things, positive thinking. So that is the idea that he is trying to convey. Okay. Let us read the verse. Kalyaninam Sarasachitra Gatim Savegam Sarvengitam Nyamanagham Dhruvalakshanadyam Chetasturangamadhiruhya Charasmarare Netas Samastha Jagatam Vrishabhadhirudha. Stop here. Om Sarve Desikanah Santu Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhakti. Om Shanti Shanti.